Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica and you're at Jessica's Craft Time. This is my weekly Whip and Chat where I work on a work in progress item. I share with you a little bit about what I've been up to in my personal life as well as what I've been up to crafty. Crafty wise, I have done a little bit more on this diamond painting here. It's for my hashtag whimsical willow. So I've got one more row after this section to go. So we're almost finished. It's almost the end of the month. I'm hoping to have it by the end of the month. Fingers crossed my Diamond Art Club order gets here by the 1st to start the collab that Rachel Ray and Wolfpack are doing. So fingers crossed it's been shipped. Let's just hope they get it through and over the seas to me in time. If they don't, that's okay. I'll just work on something else until it gets here. But what have I been doing with my cross stitch? Here's my cross stitch. It's coming along nicely. I've done all the cross stitching and I'm up to the back stitch. Down here is what I'm working on. So I'll finish doing beautiful and then I'll keep going through the back stitch through the cat. Once I finish beautiful, I will have finished that color in the back stitch. I think that's the way I'm going to work it. I'm going to pick a color and do that whole color on the back stitch right through the whole project and then do the next color. So there is quite a bit, like all of these here are back stitched on either side of the color. So there's quite a bit of back stitching to do. But that's okay. I tend to do this. Mark is a very slow eater, especially at dinner time. So once I finish eating my dinner, then I sit there and cross stitch while he's eating his dinner. So I'm excited to finish this one. And then I will get started on my temperature one that I've created. So hopefully in the next week or so, I'll be able to start that one. I've only got one Q snap at the moment. I don't mind working on the round frame, but I'm really enjoying these Q snaps. So until I get another Q snap, for me, it's one project at a time. I don't like to spend the time taking off the Q snap, putting it back on, taking off, put it back on. So that's what I'm up to with that. Other than crafty, I didn't do anything else crafty this week. Let me bring you down into this and we can... Hopefully you can see I can't really go much further. Oh, yes, I can, a little bit further over. All right, let's maybe do the tea. So all the items that I'm using today will be down in the description where I got my tray and my pen. I'm really sorry if there's any noise outside. I have just had a vehicle pull up across the road, which is public land across there. And it looks like they might start mowing or something. So if it gets really loud, I might have to stop and come back. I think I need to move you out a little bit. We'll see how we go. I might move you out just a little bit. Whip. There you go. So we'll just work on this one today. Busy week again. Oh, always busy this time of year. I've got in the cleaning spirit. So I think I told you last week I'd sorted all my Tupperware. Oh, why is there a couple of hashtags there? I've done that one already. There's a whole heap there I've missed. Okay, let's just fix that up. So I've got in the cleaning mood. We broke down Mark's sandpit. Cleaned up the backyard. Did that earlier on in the week, which I think I talked about in my last Whip and Chat. Oh, it sounds like that vehicle's going, hopefully. No, they are mowing or something. Anyway, we'll just ignore that at the moment. So after doing the backyard at the start of the week, my son's preschool offered up some free mulch. They'd been kindly donated a whole heap of mulch from one of the parents who is connected. I don't know if he owns it or he's connected with a, what are they called? Tree removalist companies around our area. And I'll come back to them. And I'm like, okay, well, my front yard was really overgrown and I had been putting off doing anything with it because it was just so overgrown. I'm like, it all needs to be ripped out. We need to get the money to put new plants in, new mulch, rah, rah, rah. So we'd been mowing the lawn, but the garden bed was atrocious. It was really, really bad. Come on, pick up. Why have you stopped picking up on me? And then they offered this free mulch. I went, well, if we've got free mulch, if I just mulch it, then maybe that was just the issue, the fact that it hasn't been mulched for over 3 years. So the mulch that was there had broken down and wasn't working. So Wednesday I did filming like I normally do, and then Thursday I decided, right, there's mulch, let's do this. I'd spoken to hubby. I'm like, right, are you happy for me to do it? Yes, all right. So I got working on these garden beds out the front, and man, was there a lot of weeds. It took me almost all day to do the front yard. So I dropped Mark off at preschool, came back, had something to eat, and I got cracking. And I pulled weeds and I pulled weeds. Most of it was grass. I pulled grass and I pulled grass and I pulled grass and I pulled some more grass and I pulled some more grass and I had a break and pulled some more. And it took me all afternoon, all morning, almost all afternoon, till I had to pick Mark up. On top of that, we've decided to remove one of the trees out the front, because if we remove it and then we bring the paving out a little bit, we'll be able to get both our cars off the road, because at the moment we can only fit one car in the driveway. So I cut down as much as I could of that to fill up our bins, because we're like, if we just cut some down every 2 weeks, our bins get picked up. We've got 2 bins. We can fit a fair bit in each 2 bin loads. We don't have much else to put in there at the moment. Most of the things that gets put in is the grass, which doesn't take up much if we keep it mowed regularly. So I started doing that, and then I'm like, well, I'm done, I've weeded. I'm like, no, I can't just leave the yard. I mowed the backyard because that was really long. The front wasn't too bad, but I'm like, I can't do all this work and just leave it. I can't. So I got the mower out. Now, I found out last night we'd taken our mower up to camp and there'd been a few of us using it to mow. I found out on the last day we were up there, the guy that was mowing, who did an amazing job, had his watch, his Fitbit, whatever he's got, tracking how many steps he'd done. He walked 10 Ks, 10 kilometers pushing that mower of ours that day. No wonder he was buggered. But in saying that, I know that I'd gone and spoken to him when he was there. I'm like, right, either if the mower runs out of petrol or you finish doing this area, whichever comes first, just finish. You've had enough. You've done heaps. I didn't quite realize at that time how much he'd walked, and I thought I'd done a bit of mowing, but boy, did he do more. So that was all right. So he obviously hadn't run out of petrol. He just finished the area he was in, because I went to grab the mower and there was still a little bit of petrol in it, and there was a splash of petrol in the jerry can. So I put the splash from the jerry can in the petrol. I went out. We've got 2 sides, either side of the driveway. I mowed the first little bit. I'm like, yeah, we're doing good. I'll go and try and mow the longer bit. So I did along the road, I did along the fence, and down the middle there's a heap of trees. So I got to mowing between the trees and the mower starts going pss, splattering and making all these funny noises. And I start talking to it. I'm like, come on, mower. You can do it. You can do this. And I got down to having this strip that was, you know, like one and a bit mower's width and about 4 meters long. And it starts spluttering. I'm like, you can't give up on me now. And I'm talking to the mower, and I got it done. I got the whole lot mowed. I was like, yes, you can die now. You've been, you know, splattering. So I'm like, all right, I'll just turn the petrol off and let it die. We always just let it run until the petrol's turn the tap off for the petrol and then let it run. So I did that. Oh no, I'm like, oh, you're almost at the end. I'll just let it run. No, it didn't. I had to turn it off. There must have been still a little bit of petrol in it. But in saying that, I was like, it was making a little bit of a funny noise. And I probably should have stopped and checked it earlier, but I didn't. I kept going, didn't I? When I stopped to check to see what this funny noise was, it was the fact that this mower has mowed so much that one of the blades has come loose and was sort of swinging on the inside. So that could have come loose. I could have injured myself, but that's okay. I know it's there now. It didn't come loose. Thank God it didn't come loose. And hubby will just have to tighten it up for me before we use it again. So that's okay. He can get under and do that on the mower. I'm sure I'm quite capable of doing it, but I'll leave it for him to do. He'll absolutely love me for it. Not. So the front yard, and then so we've weeded it all. It was all looking really good, but for some reason tools are disappearing in our house. I went to hang up my pictures and I can't find a hammer anywhere. I cannot find a hammer, and we own like 3 hammers. We can't find a hammer. Can't find a shovel. So once I picked Mark up from preschool, I'm like, right, we actually have to go up to Bunnings and buy a shovel before we go and get this mulch, because we've got nothing to lift the mulch up with. So we trotted up to Bunnings. I'm like, well, let's have a look for some plants. So I got a plant. I wanted to do the same as what was, there's 2 plants out the front, and one's growing really well instead of becoming a hedge, and the others are growing okay, but they're not right for the spot. They're really straggly. They need other stuff around it. So I looked at the ones that we already had. I'm like, but then I found another native that is more of a hedging plant. So I got one of them to put out the front. So we did that. What else? We got something else at Bunnings too. I don't know, something else. I've been up there a bit lately. Oh, I got bug spray, like surface spray for the outside of the house, because I've got to clean all the cobwebs around the house and give the house a bit of a surface spray. We should do it more often, but generally we do it around this time of the year. I give the outdoor area a really good clean up, because we have a yearly barbecue we do at home coming up. So it was sort of my motivation, I think, to start cleaning all those things I don't normally get to. I think that's where the motivation comes from, but whatever, I'm motivated. I'll get there. I'll get it all done. So we were meant to wait for hubby to get home from work and just use his ute and go and load it straight into the ute, but I called him and he was stuck at work. He was also a good hour and a half away from home. I'm like, it's going to get way too late. I'm tired. He's going to be tired and cranky. So I grabbed a couple of the plastic tubs that we use to collect our bottles, to take them back to earn and rewards, where you recycle your bottles. And I'd done a run last week, so my tubs were empty. So I grabbed them and said to Mark, right, we're going to have to do a few trips because Papa's not home. We're not going to wait for the ute. I don't want to wait for him. He's going to get home too late. He didn't end up getting home till after 7, so I'm glad we didn't wait. But I didn't want to just put all this mulch in the back of my car, so we put it in the tubs. 6 trips later, backwards and forwards to the preschool, And each trip I worked out was about 100 or 120 litres of mulch. So I worked out in doing, even though I did 6 trips backwards and forwards, we saved ourselves about $120, $150 on mulch, which I'm really glad about. And the front yard looks fantastic. I'm loving it. We since had to go back to Bunnings on... We went back to Bunnings on Saturday to buy a hammer because I didn't get one when I was there getting the shovels, and hubby's like, no, I need a hammer. So we went back again. Oh no, we didn't just go for the hammer. We went to buy some chairs for our barbecue because we're always scrounging for chairs. So we went and brought 18 chairs. So we should have enough between them and our dining room chairs. We should have enough. So anyway, we went up to Bunnings. We did the garden. Went back to Bunnings on Saturday, and we got another one of the plants because I'm like, yeah, I kind of really like it. I like the color of it. Let's just go and get another one, because if I wait to see if it takes, then what's going to happen is it's going to be a lot bigger than its friend. So let's just go and get another one. So we did that. So that was my day on Thursday last week. Was a lot of gardening and loved it. I've just got to now wait 2 weeks for the bins to be emptied before I can do any more gardening, because our bins are full and I don't want to just do it and pile it up somewhere to get filled with spiders and messy, and if the wind picks up it'll blow around. So I'll just wait. We'll just keep cutting that tree down. And then Friday was another huge day. I had people coming everywhere. So I'm a drop off in the area for lids for kids. So I had a lady come and drop this huge, she must have had her whole boot full of lids. Unfortunately, none of them are washed, and they've all got dry milk in them, and they're gross. So I'm slowly working my way through cleaning all these lids. We had our neighbour, we've got new neighbours, and they've got a section of their property is across the creek, but it's easier to access it from our backyard than it is to cross the creek for them. So she came round with her mum and wheeled her mower around to do her mowing on this side. But it also warmed up, so I was quite warm. I forgot how long it takes. The whole time Mark was at preschool, almost the whole time he was at preschool, in between all these people dropping past, I felt like my front door was a revolving door that day. Wrapping Christmas presents. I forgot how long it takes, and stupid me, because I'm like, oh yeah, it won't take long. I'll just do it in the garage. I'm on the concrete floor out here, because that's where I store them all year round, because I tend to collect throughout the year and then sort of pull it all out this time of year, pull it all out and, okay, what have I got? Who do I need to buy for? What do I need to buy still? And I stupidly did it out here, and it took me hours to do, crawling around on the concrete floor out here instead of taking them inside to do, which would have been the smarter option. But by the time I'm like, oh, I should have taken this inside, I'd already pulled everything out, and I'm like, I'm not carrying it all in now. I've pulled it all out of boxes and stuff. I'm stuck out here. So I did a lot of my Christmas wrapping, which I'm feeling really good about. There's only a couple of gifts that I'm missing, but now I know who I'm missing gifts for and have a pretty good idea of what I want to get them. So it's just a matter of going out and actually getting it or ordering it. A few of the things I just ordered online, I've showed up already. I've wrapped them. So that was Friday. And then Saturday we did Bunnings, and we cleaned up the house, and that's a big job. I got sick and I'm sick and tired of picking up after people, and I know that's a job as a mum, but so I'm like, I don't want to spend. I did it the other week, and it took me like 4 hours by the time I picked up everyone's stuff everywhere to clean the floor. And when I say 4 hours, some people might be like, oh yeah, that's not too long to clean the floor. I'm like, yeah, but we live in a tiny 3-bedroom house that only has a dining room and a lounge room and a kitchen and a bathroom and 3 little bedrooms. So if I had a big 2-story house, maybe, but I have a small house and it took me that long. So I'm like, I'm not doing it again. So I waited until everyone was home. I'm like, right, you pick up your clothes, you pick up your toys. So we did that, and then we went and put our Christmas tree up. Yes, I know it's early. Yes, I know it's not December, but I have reasoning behind this. I enjoy my Christmas tree. I enjoyed Christmas time. I haven't gone over the top. Most of my decorations are still out here. Like, I have full sets if I have... We're not having any Christmas function here, so I didn't get all my plates and tea towels and aprons and all that kind of stuff out. I've got all of it, but I got the tree out. I got a couple of decorations for inside the house, and I like having my Christmas tree out, but hubby won't let me put my Christmas presents under it yet. Apparently I'm not allowed to do it until next week. I'm guessing he wants to just get over his birthday first, and then I'll put the Christmas presents out. So they're all sitting out here in the garage by me, all wrapped, ready to go under the tree. I've even sorted them because we are going to, fingers crossed, see the family this year. So I've sorted out the ones that need to be separate. So some I can leave under the tree, some are in fabric Christmas bags that I use each year to take presents to places. So I'm happy. There's only a few more to go. My tree looks great. We have our Swarovski balls up, and that was kind of nice with Mark this year. I got to go through each ball and explain each one, and he got to put his one that we've got for him for the year he was born on the tree. And Mark really, really enjoyed doing it with me. Hubby was like, no, I don't want to do anything. I made him come and put the special ornaments out. And we got a blow up. I got a blow up Santa in a stocking last year, and Mark's loving it. It's out the front, but it keeps falling over. I can't peg it to the ground because it's on bricks. So that's our job when he gets home from preschool, to work out where we're going to tie it to so it stops falling over. So my Christmas is all set up. No, it might have been Sunday we went to Bunnings, because Saturday, yeah, it would have been Sunday. Saturday we had to go to the church for a function at the church, and then we took a couple of the leaders out for lunch. We went and had dumplings, which was really yummy, and then we went and got bubble tea, and there's a really cool kids playground not too far from where we got the bubble tea. So we headed up there, and Mark went and played on all the playground equipment while we sat down in the shade and just enjoyed being outside. It was really, really nice. So that was a pretty big day by the time we did all that. So we had a fairly busy, as much as we sort of stayed home and we only had a thing or two on. When we did go out, we were out for some time. So that was really nice to see a few people at the church I haven't seen for a little bit. There's one friend who's pregnant and I hadn't seen her. She told us she was pregnant, but we hadn't seen her since she's become pregnant. So it was really nice to see her and congratulate her. Unfortunately, her hubby wasn't there. He was still at home doing some painting work. But that was nice. And then the start of the week's been fairly quiet again. Mark and I didn't do a lot Monday, Tuesday. We went swimming to the park. What did I do Monday? I don't think I did much Monday. I think we just stayed around home. We'd been to Bunnings. I'd brought Mark some mint at Bunnings. He loves mint. He just wants to. And the mint that we had a little bit planted here, and when I was doing some weeding around the back, I think I pulled some of it out by accident. So I went and brought him a new mint plant. So he was very excited to plant that. So we did that, and that's been about it. I've just been doing a little bit of my diamond painting, a little bit of my cross stitch. I haven't started any other crafts this week. There's a couple. I always miss some. There's always some that I miss. And I really don't know how people do it with, you know, if you're one that does it with the multiple trays, good on you. Most of the time me spilling them is when I'm putting them back in the containers, or even just picking the tray up. I'm really good at just clumsily picking the tray up and dropping it. So I just couldn't do multiple colors out at once. I think I would spill them all too much. I think there's a few C's around. I'm kind of looking forward to doing the bottom of this one. It should work up a lot quicker because it's mainly the one color with a little bit of confetti. These bits are taking a fair bit of time, all the confetti and change. But yeah, I just can't do the multiple trays out of the different colors. I think I'd forget which one I'm working on. So at the moment, the way I do it is I've got my case with all of these in it next to me, and the one that I'm working on, I leave the lid shut, and that always sits outside the case, because I can sit down for 5 minutes to diamond paint. I can sit down for 5 hours to diamond paint, depending on what's happening in the day, what other things I need to do, who's home. I like to, yeah, I quite often get up and walk away and then come back, and I might only put a couple of diamonds down. I might put, you know, 3 or 4 colors down. Look, I forgot a couple of A's in there. I like these two because I can just tip them into the lid. But even like this, I have to put the lid down, because if I try and hold it, I'm likely to spill it. I'm really good at doing that. So yeah, I like to just have it separate so I can leave this, get up, walk away, come back, and I know exactly what color I'm already working on. I think if I had multiple trays out, I would confuse myself. But that's probably all for me for today. Like I said, there hasn't been a lot of crafting. I've been doing a fair bit of other things around the house, and it'll probably be that way for the next couple of weeks, just because it's kind of like my big sort of spring cleaning time, that I try and get jobs done, like washing windows and skirting boards and all that really fun stuff. But I think that might be it for me today. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed listening to what's been going on. Love to hear what you're doing. Love to see what you're working on. In the description below is a link to my Facebook page. Love it if you could pop over there. You just need to agree to a couple of the rules and I'll let you into the page. But I'd love to see what you're working on, what crafty goodness you're doing. So have a lovely day, have a lovely week, and I'll speak to you all again next week. Bye for now.